Very good. But November, December, we'll be looking at budgets, won't we?
We will be. Yeah.
Sorry?
November, December, we'll be looking at budgets again.
Then you'll have it ready for that.
We will have potentially one vacancy on that committee.
What committee?
What, you're talking about the general purposes committee? I don't know.
Do we need
Well, because we haven't got Andrew.
Andrew is on that committee?
It's the general purposes. What used to be called our monitoring group. Sorry?
Yeah.
Why would there be a vacancy? Am I missing something?
Well, Bella is on it as well. So.
Yeah, sure. When we go through all the finances.
We do the finance.
That one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's your yours.
It's general purposes is what we call it. Yes. We changed it last
Because we have considerations of other things other than money.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason Mayo, we talked about styles across Crooked Lane Railway.
Sorry, that's me. I've spoken to Chris East,
Right.
because I thought he would be a good bloke to talk to about this. And I spoke to him on Monday, and he knows the styles, and he knows the area, and he knows it's in a bad way. Because I said my usual style with Chris East, we want to do something about it. Just tell me what to do or who to go to and I'll get it done. He said, no, you can't, because it is Network Rail's responsibility, and you can't, if you like, employ people to do work next to a high-speed railway line. That is a no-no. So he said, my immediate superior deals with Network Rail, and I will go and speak to him and I'll come back to you. And I'm sure that Chris East will come back to me.
Good.
Excellent.
So I'm going to wait to hear from him.
We didn't get very far with our direct approach to
No.
did we? Thank you for that, Colin, that's great. Village Green Lane, maintenance issues.
No, I haven't done anything, but I will this month.
Thank you. Village flower borders.
A couple of things on this actually. Richard asked me to have a word with Sanders, now Blue Diamond, because Sanders hopefully would support local community events. So I had a word with the new manager there, who was very, very helpful, and we talked about various ways in which they could help. And I said we've done quite a lot of work on presenting our village with decent signs and flower bed at the top of the road, the A38. And would they be able to help with flower beds, flowers, plants in future? The answer to which was yes. And then I said, well, we've got two other entrances which are really rather decrepit, coming in from Belmont-Sea and in from East Brent. And what we'd really quite like to do is to put some smaller flower beds there. Smaller because actually the signs are sort of slightly tucked in towards the hedge. So they would be about 4 foot by 4 foot. And they said yes, they would be quite happy to support flowers through the year. They can right north for our lady gardeners. So they will produce the flowers. Now the lady gardeners who looked after the flower beds for nothing for the last 2 years, I've spoken to them, they are happy to take on the 3 flower beds. We need to make 2 surrounds in the other 2 entrances. I've priced the wood, cut the wood, and it's not a problem, and David and I, actually David and I will install the flower beds. Sanders will produce topsoil and potting compost, everything to make up the flower beds. So in other words, they're paid for, and Sanders will pay for all the woodwork, everything. So they've agreed to that. They just produce the bills. So we now can go forward with having 3 flower beds at the entrance to our village. They will be supported by Sanders. I think it would be right and proper if they did that at the entrance to the village, that there was a small sign to be sponsored by Blue Diamond. They are happy with that. So my proposal would be that we, the Parish Council, accept that. There's just one added thing to this, because the two girls do a lot of work. They carry water down to the flower beds every week, if not twice a week. And so they've supported us very well. We're now going to get all the flowers for nothing. And I think consideration should be given to the lady gardeners being supported, paid in much the same way as Jason is employed to do some work. Now, we would need to decide how much, but I think that they should be employed.
Couple of points. One, I think we should get some proper signs made, sponsored and supported by Blue Diamond.
I think they'll do that.
And sorry,
They'll do it.
if not, then would like us to do it, but somebody to do it. And I thought we had agreed a sum of money to pay Amanda and Rebecca.
No, they paid for the flowers.
Just
Paid for the flowers.
I thought we'd agreed that they were paid so much per visit
No.
to the flower.
Never.
Just for the plants.
No,
Just
they
for the
paid a grant for the flowers.
Yeah.
They've never been paid.
The only query I have, John, is the land where we propose putting these two flower beds, is it within our bailiwick that we can do it, or is it on somebody's land? Is it on council land? It's on highway?
Well, we did it up at the top, we never asked anybody.
No, but on these other, where these other signs are, it's on, so we can do it.
Do you think it's a problem?
Well, it is on
It's not going to affect the land, the owner on the other side of the hedge or wherever it is.
If you put a flower tub in front of the sign over in East Brent, it'll be on East Brent Parish Council land.
That's the trouble, because our sign is right on the border, isn't it?
And it'll be the same with Notice. That Brent, that Barrowmore, that's still on our land.
I would suggest that we speak to East Brent, because it might well be that we put the 4x4 bed, which is quite big, underneath, so it serves both sides.
That is exactly the plan.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't say that.
Well, you've just asked me.
Okay.
Excellent.
How much is it going to cost to establish three things there?
I see that East Brent have put a sign the other side of our sign to show East Brent.
That's what we just said.
No, they've put their own sign, village sign,
That's all.
on the reverse of ours.
It always was there.
On the supports.
It's on the
It
support.
was there.
It's
Yeah.
always
I think
has
it
been.
was, you're right.
Always has been.
Always has
There's
been.
always one side.
It was there.
One side.
Yeah. And we just
So
we just
before
So
us.
do you want to speak to Jim now? You get them
Their
to
sign was approved.
approve it? What do you want to do?
No.
I mean, just as a matter of interest, it doesn't contradict this anyway, but they're doing something similar with their signs. I don't think they're doing the one in Burton Row, but certainly the other ones, they're doing some flower borders underneath
They're
it.
doing
So-
one on the main road on 370.
Yes, that's
Are they talking to Sanders?
No, they're just doing the flower borders, not through anybody else as far as I know.
Planters.
So can we, oh, sorry.
Well, there's actually one further aspect about this. The borders or the verges are very, very scruffy. If we put the borders in, and I have discussed with a couple of other people, that we really ought to consider asking Jason just to string around the area, because if you put a flower bed in there, then if it grows, if the grass grows too much, it would tend to be hidden. So I would ask for the borders to be stripped, say, twice a year.
The East Brand bit's a bit like a lawn. The East Brand bit's kept like a lawn anyway, around that side.
Yeah, I don't know who cuts it.
the house or?
I think the only thing we really want to decide, I mean, apart from the fact that do we go ahead with the boards and say to Blue Diamond, thank you very much indeed, and if that is the case, I think we need to ask the clerk to write to Blue Diamond, the manager, and give you her name, to say thank you very much indeed for that support. But we need to decide whether we actually give the lady gardeners a fee.
I think before we decide that, we ought to have the orders, or the council should agree to have them installed. Then we can go from there.
Yeah. So the first proposal would be, do we go ahead and look to put flower borders in the access from East Point and down Station Road or from Birmingham?
Exactly.
Can I have an agreement on that, or has anybody any objections to it? That's the proposal on the table.
Who from?
Sorry?
Who from?
Me.
Oh,
I'll second it.
All those in favour? Yeah. So Peter's not in favour.
No.
He's abstaining.
So,
Are you abstaining?
majority?
I'm abstaining, yeah. I'm no feeling about it at all. I won't be going that way and view the flowers.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's that one.
Yeah.
So that in principle. So we now need somebody to go back to Blue. Do we need to go liaise back with Blue Diamond?
Yeah, well, John's going to write into the details and I can go back and write.
Oh, Jen, I'll talk to you about the details, yes.
Yeah.
Chairman, let's ask, in terms of what we pay at the moment, we pay for the flowers, it's about is it £100?
£100 we could answer that.
So could we do that at an honorarium of £100? Because then
Well, I
it's
don't
no
think
more
you should-
expensive.
I don't think you should worry about that until you have the things built.
Yeah,
Otherwise you're deciding on something.
Are you saying
If
somewhere
it
else in the village?
falls through.
No. I mean, as I understand it, the Lady Gardeners have offered to maintain these things.
Exactly,
Yes.
you did.
What I was suggesting, or the proposal was that we use the money we used to use for the plants as an honorarium for them for doing the maintenance of the three, because they're obviously taking on 3 times as much work.
Yeah.
But
But whether £100 is enough for 3, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit.
You could
But
almost
to
say-
2 people,
I mean, they're going to have to visit them sort of quite regularly.
It almost, I would suggest that it would be £300 personally, but
I
I would have thought perhaps a couple of £100.
do bear in mind you're going to come into the budget scenario coming very shortly, next month.
Yeah.
Is that time to look at the budget and decide what you want to do into all these various?
Well, I don't think you should decide anything until the things are actually built. Because if something happens at Blue Diamond, don't supply the wood or don't want to.
But they are doing, they've all agreed to do that.
Where is it written? Yes, what you brought to the table. I'm sorry, but I said it's what you brought to the table. We've got no agreement with Blue Diamond.
They have given verbal agreement, yeah.
That's it. So I'm saying that we should wait until they're there, then we can decide there's something there for the girls to maintain. There's nothing there for the girls to maintain yet. So it won't hurt to wait a month. That's what I'm afraid.
go back to Sharon. Somebody's going to go back to Caroline and say thank you. And we'll accept
Does it
that.
mean it's
Yeah, okay. So the first stage is to write back to Diamond.
and thank them for their offer?
So thank you for would like to take up on the offer. The council agreed to do so. Can we go ahead?
What they agreed to do is provide the materials and the person that for 2 borders and to provide rolling flowers throughout the year.
Okay.
Or flowers or plants.
So that's what I'm going to do first of all then. Write to Blue Diamond.
She's a general manager
Do
of
that.
Sanders.
Yeah, okay.
Did we ever write to, because it was actually, we talked about it about 2 months ago, did we ever write to the girls for the work they've done?
Yes, we did.
Say thank you,
Yes, we
thank you
did.
very much.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Right. Drainage at the rear of the church, David. Anything to comment on that?
To be completed by the end of the month.
Thank
Oh,
you.
right, okay.
Our boys have agreed not to do it.
Thank you.
By the end of June.
Cut a new channel, just don't all run off from the...
We're going to look at that.
It will take it down the other channel that flows, and we'll see what happens then. It should alleviate the issue to start with.
Yeah, thank you.
Painting to rear and left side fencing and remaining bench. Well, we were going to look at it, but we can't because we've got the safety fencing prevents us.
We've still got a quote from Andy Selway for that, which was the quote that was the most competitive quote that we had. But I think there was some
Issue.
issue of whether we want to do it at all.
That's right.
Colin's proposal was that we'd look at it, but we can't because
So
we can't
this
get access.
is a deferral.
It's a deferral.
Jen, did we skip the SID?
Yeah,
We did,
number
we
of-
did, it's
number
my
of-
eyes ago.
Citizens.
Civil and crime records. Now, Bob sent round a very interesting map, active map that you can move and do all sorts of things, and it will show you where crimes potentially were committed. I haven't had anything through from the PCSO this month, so I can't tell.
So we can't do anything. Reports.
On item L, Peter,
Oh, thank you.
the SID, we don't get any reports period, but we have a query over the adequacy of the SID anyway. And in my view, we ought to be thinking about potential replacement in the next financial year.
It doesn't last very long, does it?
If it gets
Five
hit,
years?
hit by a bus, it's not going to last
Well,
long.
It's about 5 years actually. Since we
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
That's no support. See what it
But
drives.
it's hit by a lorry.
Yeah.
3,200 something pounds, I think it was.
I mean, we're not going to talk about it now, but I think the questions we would have to think about is, one, do you replace it? Do we just abandon it? Or we just carry on with what it's doing now, which is something and nothing? But we'll think about that
Sounds like
next
a
time.
decision to make on that.
Yeah, I think we ought to defer that to the next time.
I mean, still currently.
Well,
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Run about when the battery's charged.
Ah.
So, Jen, I think before we make a decision one way or the other, it'd be worth talking to our neighbours as well, because East Brent have got one very similar to ours, but works an awful lot better and
It
gets an
does,
awful
it's
lot more
much
information.
better.
Is it?
And East Huntsville are in that. They're in actually they've gone into a combined working group with Burnwithout and now Mark,
Right, okay.
where they all contributed to the cost
Right.
of buying it, and they share it between the
Right.
three villages.
Right.
But theirs is a different design, it was a different company. But again, it would give us an idea of cost if we get to that stage.
So, yeah.
But both of them have software with it, which actually means they can analyse the stuff that comes off rather than...
Which is fairly important.
I think so.
Okay.
as I've said before, I'm quite happy to analyse the data, as I have done the raw data. It's a question of getting the raw data. And without the raw data, you can't do de-analysis.
So that's really going to be an ongoing thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll need to keep that in front of us
Yeah.
moving forward.
So affordable housing, I mean, we've
Yeah, the question to ask, if I could, on that one was, at the last meeting we looked at the potential allocation policy, but it wasn't on our agenda, so we technically didn't pass a resolution to adopt it.
And when I asked, because when I put the agenda together, I spoke to Esther. She said there was nothing that she was requiring from us, so I'm not quite sure whether she thinks she's got it.
Certainly we didn't take a vote on it last time. We talked about it, and I think generally we're all pretty happy, but we haven't resolved as a council.
Can I suggest that perhaps what we do is we add it to the agenda when we because obviously the planning application will probably be in for the November meeting. We could have it just to underline that bit. That meeting.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So we could add that as on the same meeting. So in fact we had the planning application and the lettings policy dealt with at the same meeting. Does that sound sensible?
Fine.
Because in addition to that, the other thing we talked about last month was the under-occupancy and the fact that we potentially would want it to allow people to under-occupy, to make the most of local people's ability to get access to the houses.
Do you want to keep that one?
Yeah, I know.
Do you want it to what?
Well, the problem is at the moment, if you're a couple without children, you can only apply for a one-bedroom unit. You can get to a two-bedroom unit if you've got children.
Right.
And obviously one of the things we're looking at is there will be quite a lot of potential young couples in the village that might want to be here, and there's only a very limited number of one-bedroom units.
Right.
People may well not want to be in a in a flat, whereas some of the other things are 2-bedroom houses. So, under the rules normally, they wouldn't be unable to allocate a couple to go into a 2-bedroom house if they didn't have kids.
Right.
So you could end up with a situation where we had lots of couples in Brent Knoll who wouldn't be housed, but we'd be bringing people in from outside who had got children and would be housed and would
Right.
defeat the whole object of what we're trying to
So
achieve.
what you're trying, yes, I understand.
So we're just
that.
saying we want to allow them.
We
to
should
want
let
to-
No, okay.
borrow some children.
Okay.
Anything else on affordable housing? Any idea when the decision on the other place will be made?
No,
Transport haven't come back, have they?
not yet.
No.
Okay.
Just, can I ask something, John?
No, don't need, no, sorry.
If we've discussed something tonight associated with, I think it was 115, is it? Sorry, we'll have to close your ears to this one. But we've objected to it. Is it necessary, therefore, that the parish council decide that they want representation if this goes to appeal? Because it is, do we feel it's necessary that we should go down and state our case?
Very good point.
Chairman, if I could just comment, and nothing to do with the particular application, but as a
As a
member,
principle.
but as the principle, if you feel strongly about something, it would be worth having someone to go down there, because it sends a message to the committee that you are interested enough to actually go down. It won't make, it won't take it won't change the facts about the application, but if you don't turn up, there is a perception maybe that, well, okay, you've objected to it, but you weren't really that bothered because you haven't gone.
No.
It does make a...
Well, I mean, the issue this evening is, it was such an important application to the applicant, they didn't bother turning up. How much better would it be if the applicant had turned up and made their case? At least we could have questioned them and maybe found out a few answers, but they didn't bother even to turn up. But
Not very far away either.
I do think that the parish council need to say whether they feel firmly enough about this that we feel, I know what's going to happen,
You just volunteered, Colin.
that we should go down to
So it's
session.
one of those lady darling.
If you go down, I'll be quite happy to.
You need to put it over.
Well, can you let us know the date, please?
I will.
And they'll...
I mean, of course, at this stage it's an if anyway, 'cause of course if the officers decide to
Yes.
object, it'll never come to us, the committee.
Well, that's
It's a
why...
delegated refusal, if that's what you've
Yeah,
recommended.
yeah, because if you read his report prior, then it may not be necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if, yeah, okay.
Dog fouling in Boddy's Lane.
So I haven't done anything about that at all. I'm not quite sure where we've reached on this. Actually.
Well, I think the issue is that the bin is overused and therefore people are using, there's too much dog fouling and therefore not enough space and they're not taking it home or using public bins and that sort of thing.
The bin is being used, it's
So it's
just
overfill, isn't it?
not necessarily, Richard, it's just the fact that people don't bother with it.
Once they
And
need the payment,
sorry?
once they need the payment, they think that it's no over.
And I feel very sorry for the lady that's down there, and Philip Vowles, because Philip Vowles keeps it tidy down there. And somebody, I think Philip may have done, put some little signs, you know, up. And I just wonder whether we should put some signs up there, because it is a regular users that do the loop through the field. And sometimes it's just left there.
More often than not.
Yeah.
I'm going up the hill.
Silent information technology.
There's no easy solution, I suspect.
There isn't.
But even if you put signs up, people just ignore them.
Well, you shouldn't be putting signs up in the country anyway. I don't
Okay, well, at least we've discussed it.
believe. So it is. It's sad.
Very
be
difficult. Very
recorded,
difficult.
recorded strongly in our minutes, and it can be, will be read in the BKM project. That we discussed
I've
it.
lived in the village going on 40 years now, and I can tell you on one hand, a number of times I've seen a dog without anybody in attendance. And there was a dog that used to go every now and again, on a wander looking for a girlfriend. Every dog is accompanied by a person, and they see it and they ignore it.
Yeah.
Because it does.
Well, that's the issue.
Yeah, but it's how you get that message over, isn't it?
But if they ignore it now, the sign wouldn't be different.
Absolutely right. I mean,
Look at that silly couch wasting money on signs.
Brian's suggestion of a strongly, a minute in the AGM.
Strong minute.
Sorry, in the Brent Knoll.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it's the bin opposite the school and its use.
Yeah, which we're still not quite sure how much it is used.
Well, and it's used for the wrong things, we're saying that.
Yeah, it's the wrong use there, isn't it, we're talking about? You know, it's ordinary bins being used for
Dog mess,
and I suppose it's proximity to the school as well. There's another issue, isn't it? On that one.
There was a suggestion last time that we take it down, just get rid of it.
That's why it went in on the agenda, didn't it? See if anyone had any comments on it.
But nobody has. Nobody's come back.
I mean, it was, Chairman, it was reported in the last BKM, there was a comment in there saying that that's what we were thinking of doing.
Yes.
That's obviously only just come out, so there
So
possibly
you're
hasn't
a bit
been
on
enough time for people to actually respond.
So,
Next time.
I look forward to the next meeting.
Really
If I
haven't
heard
done
anything,
Yeah. Thank you.
after the deluge of response,
Yeah.
or not.
That's okay. Then finally, speed and speeding issues with the village. Well, we haven't, because we had that. You had an email from somebody on Station Road.
Well, that was George King who came in today, actually, and he said that there was concern over speeding in Station Road. This is why he felt he wanted to see it.
Right, okay.
And we did say that there's a possibility of that, because we've got, facilities on the post at Tappert Post.
But equally, I'm conscious that we also have speeding elsewhere in the village. We can't support it because it's only what you see. There's no evidence to support it in the book because the SID's got this result and got the statistics. But I can guarantee that there are people speeding in Burton Row, and we've had numerous occasions of people saying it to me and to others in Burton Row that occurs. And it's all down to the fact that people use it to run between Burnham and Cheddar, or Cheddar and Burnham, or Weston and Burnham, and so forth. And it's really an issue, I think, that we have talked about and we don't necessarily progress it. Is there any way we could consider, for example, I'll just throw this out before opening to other discussion, that we even put yellow lines on parts of the roads just as warning things? Now I know Peter said we can't get lines put down, but I'm sure
We can start by moving the speed control around the corner, because we've not tried that yet, have we? We put it in Brent Street, we put it in Burton Road, but we've not put it in Station.
No, but we still get speeding in Burton Road even if it's there. But we can't go back to the police and say, in the last 2 months, we have had 40% of the traffic going past our speed camera exceeding the statutory speed limit, because we've got no data to confirm that.
Is Roger going down the Station Road?
We're not allowed to,
No.
because there's something to do with there's no signage for the speed there. And I'm not sure if they have to be by one or they shouldn't be by one. I'm not sure, I can't tell you enough about it. But he's not allowed to go there.
Brian?
I think in 10 years' time, unless we do something different, we're still going to have this discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So what I've said in the past many times, but it's been poo-pooed, the only way you're going to stop it is put sleeping policemen down. I've just come back from Minorca, and they're everywhere there, and everybody accepts them. people say, in England people say, oh, it'll ruin my car. It won't ruin it if you go at the right
far,
speed.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'd be quite happy to have one outside my house, provided I got a reduction in my council tax. But there are areas where you could put them where there are no houses, especially down Burton Road.
Absolutely.
You're talking about...
And I'm talking about the type of thing that you've got, as I mentioned before, on the Asda car park. They're quite suitable, and I wouldn't think they'd be all that expensive. I don't know, I'm guessing.
It's a good idea.
You won't have to worry, will you, because there'll be potholes and deep.
The problem with sleeping policemen, and I look at Bob for being correct on this, that highways would have to approve it,
Well, yeah.
and we would have to put up a case to say that X% of the time, there's so many people exceeding the
We
speed
haven't
limit.
got the data to
And we
prove
haven't
it.
got the data.
Exactly.
We must get that eventually.
Well, we can't.
Why?
Apparently, in Falmouth, we've got the highest density of civil policemen anywhere, apparently in the southwest. They're everywhere. I mean, you just said Rutland, they're everywhere. The problem they have, of course, is that the emergency services are getting increasingly concerned about them because people who are being taken to hospital, even at very slow speed, sometimes are finding the movement of the ambulance is causing a more critical health situation for them.
How many times has an ambulance come down Brent Street, for instance? Or Burton
Very
Road?
heavy
Not
on
very
the
often. Occasionally.
I see every other night.
Chairman, it's certainly something we could look at, but I mean, those of us who've sort of sat around the table for a little while will remember the letters that came in from doctors telling us that it was going to be terrible for arthritic people. There was objections.
People on bikes.
There was. I mean, at that stage, there was the threat of removing the bus service. I mean, that's not a threat now.
Is that what caused it?
But there were a whole range of we had an interesting time. I mean, when Richard was chairman, and it certainly got very heated.
The other alternative is have the barriers like they've got, say, at Markwood and at East Hampton. They would be
Like a
very
chicane.
expensive. They would be quite
Got
expensive.
them all the way through the village in park cars.
Certainly down in East Huntsville. We've got, but I cannot see any other way
No.
of slowing traffic down. Because people are selfish.
Stickers on the road.
The other thing, Chairman, which is slightly trivial to some extent, but even if we were going to get the police down here to enforce, we need to make sure that we start putting notes out to get people to clear their repeater signs. Because technically, at the moment, if you've got repeater signs which are covered up, if the police try and take action against drivers, they can get out of it because they didn't have the proper signage. And there are a number of signs along Brent Street at the moment where the repeaters are completely covered. 31 signs.
Peter?
If we want to do something in Station Road, then can't we speak to the police about Roger's inability to get his crew down there? See if there's any way we can, or in Ham Road.
We've now lost PC Wills,
Yes.
so I'm not sure who we would speak
Well, I
to.
think we
Mike,
would contact.
Mike.
Yeah, there was another contact there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And also PCSO, was it?
Yes, Mike's somebody.
Yeah, Mike, yeah, I know you mean, he came here on a couple of occasions.
I must admit, I can't see what the problem is for the station road because you've got signs there and you've got a pavement there outside South Brent Close, which is a safe place to stand.
Well, it's obviously Roger.
Let me ask him and
Yeah.
I'll tell you next time.
Yeah.
I did suggest in my email, when George King wrote to me, I did suggest that perhaps, more volunteers for the speed watch. If we were going to extend it, we would need more volunteers. And he did say to me today he would be prepared to come along and do it, but only in Station Road. He doesn't want to do it in the other areas, that's the problem.
That's great, because it takes the pressure, it means that Roger can concentrate, say, on Brent Street.
So that's another option.
Station
So there's an
Road.
option there,
Good, okay, thank you. Right, matters of report, Malcolm.
The only thing is, there's a post down on the grass around the gas box.
That's one.
That was a new one.
What about you mentioned?
Another old one.
Brian?
Should have been on the agenda.
Yeah, I've been promised a sack of daffodil bulbs shortly, and so I'd like some help sometime. I'll let you know when they arrive. And also, perhaps you can tell me where you would like to put them. Apart from just at the end there.
It said you should scatter them rather than put them in trenches, daffodils. It's a lot of work though, yeah.
A couple more things. We are still in a allegedly no cold calling area, aren't we?
Yes.
Because I wonder if that could be reinforced, because I'm getting fed up with people still calling, and I've even got a sign on my door saying I don't deal with visitors, and I say, have you seen that? It's a nuisance.
They don't take any notice
I
actually,
know.
do they? No.
And finally, I hate to mention this, but I was asked to bring it up about the provision in this village. Why haven't we got a defibrillator? That keeps coming up. So I said I would mention it.
I should have a heart attack.
Do you want to generalise it again?
Yeah. David?
No.
Bella?
What was the response? I didn't hear.
Yeah, go on the agenda.
Yeah, it's on the agenda. It's about a year or two since it's been on there, actually, Brian.
Nothing from Bob, nothing from... Oh no, one from me. Can we have an update perhaps on the telephone box, please, to how it's going?
Yeah, did Kim mention it today?
No, she didn't mention it, did she? Because we had George was here most of the time.
Okay, are you asking me?
I'm not now, but
No.
to go on the agenda next time, that we could have a report just to say. And the other thing is, as part of that, have we given any consideration to saying to the school that the children could do some paintings of the seasons, for example? So they could do...
I think you'll find there's not enough space.
Is there not enough space?
No.
Not even to go on the glass?
Maybe on the glass, yes.
Rather than on the notice board, so you can actually see it from the outside.
Yes, okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And through Kim's contacts, you can perhaps... It's only a thought. We get them to say, do a winter, Brent Knoll in the winter, Brent Knoll in the spring, Brent Knoll in the summer, Brent Knoll in the autumn.
All right, the only thing I'll say to you is Kim came round on Monday specifically to talk about it, but she's had Ofsted at the school and it's been to here, so she wants to calm down from that.
Yeah.
She will come to me later this month.
No, but I was just thinking an item next time, please. John? Colin?
No.
Peter?
I have here in my hand
A box.
a wreath for the armistice in November. Sally gave it to me. It's a month early, but she says it's we need to put it on the agenda for a check to be made out to the British Legion Poppy Appeal.
British Legion Poppy Appeal.
Normally the price is $17.50, but she said that is just we're asking for a donation, so we must remember we also gave them a donation for putting a sign up on this.
So when I write a check out for next month, then
No, we shouldn't.
For next month.
It needs to be put on the agenda
I know it's not for
for.
approval, but you know,
Yes.
we need to. If I'm going to write a check out, I need to know what I'm going to write a check out for. Are we saying the
Maybe
same?
I suggest we make it at £20. Because they had some money for the sign.
Okay.
I would propose that as it is the 100th anniversary of the First World War, that the whole PC turn up, not just me.
Yes.
And some people might be against.
Well, if you wish to be against it, that's fine.
You
You turned up
I
last
usually
time.
turn up, it just upset you, I don't.
No, I just think...
Wear a white poppy on
What
it.
do you want at the moment?
White feather, Peter.
White poppy?
You upset him when you turn up or not.
Very good.
And with that, we'll move on.
Can I just ask you, when you come to the November meeting, you have to start the process as a precept setting for the
Yeah.
December meeting. So if you could have a starting to think about, you know, where we need to spend money next year and so forth.
We'll now close the meeting.